Hello relatives, welcome to this week's Schlagbyte for the week August 29th, 2011, entitled 3 Minutes with the Truth Fairy. I've written before about my persona as the Truth Fairy in archived Schlagbytes that you can look at. The Truth Fairy is a magical character who makes an annual appearance at the Oregon Country Fair. The Truth Fairy is a 6-foot 6-inch ballerina who wears a pink wig, leotard, and tutu, and answers people's most serious questions. The kind of questions you're afraid to ask because you're not really sure you want to hear the answers. When the Truth Fairy enters the fairgrounds, he is heralded by a small ensemble called the Blueberries, my shills, who tell the audience that they have this extraordinary opportunity of spending 3 minutes with the Truth Fairy and ask him a question, something they've been thinking about, but maybe been afraid to ask because they're not sure they want to hear the answer, and that they get to do it privately inside a roped-off enclosure. And even though it's not a very long time, they can often find out some things that might be interesting, even need to know. And I love the opportunity to channel my intuitive soul, to let my spontaneity flow. People will ask the Truth Fairy some personal questions, sometimes cleverly disguised questions. This year, for example, a young man in his late 20s asked me to tell him what his future was. And I said, I'm not a fortune teller, I am the Truth Fairy. And then went on to say that I sensed what he wanted to ask me had more to do with an issue that he was dealing with right now. And he nodded and said that he was with a woman and was thinking he'd like to spend more time with her, but his history with women was always one of short-term relationships. He'd like to stay with her for a while, but was afraid that if he did, that she might interpret his decision as a readiness for a long-term commitment, and he was far from that. The Truth Fairy told him, if you have to know it before you do it, you're only going to do what you've already done. Spending too much time preparing for the future makes it hard to appreciate the present. And did you ever think that maybe she didn't want to be with you long-term either? And by then 3 minutes was up, but he wanted to talk longer. He tried to get back in line, but the Blueberries told him that 3 minutes is all you got with the Truth Fairy. You just get a chance to think about it a lot longer. I saw a 10-year-old girl with a flower painted on her cheek who asked her serious question, which was, what does whale poop look like? And the Truth Fairy said, it's a great question, and then broke out into a Cole Porter tune. Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it, you do it, I do it, everybody poops. Which I followed with a spontaneous rendition. It could be big, it could be a lot, it could be small like a dot. It may be smelly, maybe not, but it's always good to poop. And then the Truth Fairy leaned forward and whispered in her ear, when whales poop, it's a lot, but it floats away on the spot. The most important thing to know about poop is that you never want to keep it locked inside. Keeping it in is going to hurt you. The Truth Fairy loves you. If you want to see some pictures of what the Truth Fairy looks like, take a look at the bottom of this bite. And a P.S. I'm going to be doing a public performance with my friend and brother Zarko Guerrero, October 15th. Zarko is a world-class mask maker and public performance artist. And we're going to do an evening of masked characters. There are going to be stories that we tell en masque. There are stories that are going to open you up. They'll be provocative and funny. And most importantly, it's a one-time event, a premier event as a benefit for All One House, my community's premier art and public performance cooperative. Take a look at it on the homepage. Have a wonderful week. Remember, we are all connected. Take care of each other. Reach out. Help somebody. Remind yourself what we're all doing here. I say this for all my relations. Mitakuyasu.